Hi, I'm Ana P. Santos and I'm here to talk to Dr. Jigs Danila of the DOH. We're continuing our discussion on teen pregnancy in the Philippines. We've seen a real big increase in teen pregnancy in the Philippines over the last 10 years. There's been an increase of about 65%. Dr. Jigs here from the DOH is going to talk to us about the factors that have led to this rise in teen pregnancy and the government interventions that we're looking at to help curb this problem. Hi, Doc Jigs.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Doc Jigs, so we started off with, the problem of teen pregnancy in the Philippines. 65% increase over a period of 10 years.
That's true.
Very, very young girls as young as 13, 14 are becoming mothers. Let's backtrack a little bit. What has the Department of Health seen as factors that are leading to this increase in teen pregnancy?
Well, what you said is very true, but we call these kids the millennial kids, liberated, empowered, they can make decisions their own. One thing that we see here that they channel their energy not through, some channel it through sports, but some say it's social media contributed to this. You talk to persons far away from you, then you meet. And of course, maybe I can say lack of sexual education. Sexual education should start at home and reinforce inside the school.
You brought up an interesting point about sex education. When should that start?
Well, apparently we at the Department of Health and with the Department of Education, we advocated as early as possible. During your elementary years, you should be already synthesized under the parts of the human body. And if your kids ask something, answer him or her straight to the point.
Right.
Not things like, for example, kid will ask you, Mama, where did I came from? I heard some parents say, you came from my heart. No. That's not anatomically true.
Correct.
You should answer them straight point in a more subtle manner. That's according to their level.
That's very sweet that you came from somebody's heart, but
sweet,
not
but
anatomically true.
That's not anatomically true.
And it can lead to a lot of misconceptions later on.
Yes.
But that's easier said than done for a lot of parents. How would you
right.
advise parents to start this conversation?
Yes. We tell parents that, the problem is some of our parents doesn't know how to handle this very sensitive question.
Of course, yeah.
Something ask them, you ask your father, and when you come to the father, say, you go ask your yaya. Something like that. Yeah. So we ask, and there's an effort by the SWD and POPCOM to educate these parents.
Okay.
Yes. Parents especially who are low educated, with a lower income, most of them are in the rural area.
How are we doing this? Are we doing community town halls, or how are we reaching out to these parents?
Community town halls and house to house.
Okay.
But usually it's through big gatherings, community town halls, education. This is the counterpart of comprehensive sexual education for teenagers. Okay. And another thing for the parents, how to deal with your kids' question on sexual education. It should be reinforced by the school.
How has this been received by the parents?
Well, the last thing that I saw, it's good, it's nice. It's an awakening to them. Things that they never heard when they were teenagers, now they learn.
I was going to ask you, have you also seen that maybe the parents also didn't know enough about sex and sex education?
We have to go back to history. Some of let's just say, if you are a product of teenage pregnancy, most likely your parents married also at a very early age, right? So there were things that said, that, I didn't know about that. If only I knew that, maybe my kids won't be like this 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. But those were the past, and we're making changes right now. And parents who are highly educated are very receptive to this, and we're trying to sensitize person or parents who are belonging to the lower class, because these are the families who have the highest unmet need
for contraception.
For contraception.
Right.
Yeah, and we're focusing the government's resources and attention to this family, which are located at poor areas, provinces.
Very far off places also.
Away, yes.
Okay. Is this going to be, has this started as a nationwide effort already?
Yes, it's a nationwide thing. We started some pilot areas in the provinces, and sooner or later, this will be a national program for both DOH, DSWD, and DepEd.
Oh, wow.
Through the initiative of POPCOM, Commission on Population.
That's great. That's great. That's one very concrete
That's
intervention.
right. If this teacher cannot handle sensitive question, then let the parents handle this. For sure, I'm a parent who doesn't want to have a teenage
Right,
daughter. It
right.
will break my heart, right?
Well, that's another thing, you know, okay, we talked about addressing the problem of the gap in sex education, but we're also noticing a number of teen pregnancies, multiple teen pregnancies. So before a girl is 20, she already has 2 or 3 children.
Yes, yes.
Where are we missing them, Doc
Well,
Jigs?
I would say it's a failure of the whole system, the government, and the community, and the individual. The individual, the teenager, community, the family, and, you know, government. Well, it's
So
a pity when you made a mistake, first pregnancy, okay, that's it, good. Second pregnancy, third pregnancy. What we see here are, these are lost kids, not monitored by their parents.
Or by anyone,
By
any
anyone. So
guardians.
it's a failure of the system, by the community leaders there, something, right? Or by the government.
So what can we do for these multiple teen pregnancies? How can we address this?
Yes. It's hard to say how can, because of the age, right? And according by law, 18 years below should have a consent from the parents before you can give intervention.
I thought, Doc Jigs, as long as you are already a parent, you can negate that parental consent
No.
clause.
You still meet as long as you're still a minor under the law. You
Oh,
still
my
need
goodness.
a consent.
Okay.
That is the Supreme Court ruling. But if you're 18 above, then you're considered as emancipated adult then. But don't worry. We have
Okay.
seen a lot of parents who, but in their first pregnancy of their young teenager,
Yes.
they're the one who already approached the service provider, the clinic, who said, I want my kid to have a family planning commodities. I'm giving my full consent because I don't want her still studying, and I don't know if her boyfriend is going to support her. Things like that.
Yeah, the very practical concerns.
Very practical.
Right.
Very practical. And we're seeing lots of them already coming in.
Yeah.
Coming into the RSU, giving their full consent. That's what we need, because we don't want to antagonize the law.
Right, right.
But again, what you're saying, those multiple pregnancy, those are the things that we miss.
Yeah.
We miss, and no, it's a heartbreak. Say, at a very young age, 13, you already one pregnancy, 14, another, and then we can.
And there's so many health risks, attendant health risks to that, isn't it, Doc Jigs?
Yes.
She's very young, and then she has multiple pregnancies.
That's right. And this is what we're telling the people. Family planning is not the control of population. It's for the health of the women and their kids.
Yes.
At a very young age, you'll die of hemorrhage, you die of infection,
Right.
and you'll deliver a very premature kid who will stay at the incubator for so many years. And then the growth of this kid, you cannot, a poor performer in school, everything comes into the package of a very young pregnancy. This is what we've been telling the people. There's the right age for everything.
Yeah.
There's a right age for everything.
And we should also be sending out these messages, I think, in a very non-judgmental way. Now, the
Yes.
youth are, well, we were young once, Doc Jigs, weren't
That's
we?
right. Yeah,
we
we were
remember
young.
how we didn't like to be talked at
That's right.
or
given orders.
yeah, given orders or
That's
reprimanded, right?
That's why the government, or through our adolescent health program, we call this life skill approach training, where the kids or the teenager are empowered more. They are taught how that, hey, this is your body, it's your responsibility. You have the right to say no.
Yes,
Something
owning
like
your
that.
body.
Yes,
Right.
we cannot control you, but it's your body, it's your responsibility.
Maybe, Dr. Jigs, you mentioned something earlier which is really interesting. You said that RH for teenagers means something else. And I
Yes.
think we need to understand the
That's
mindset
right.
of teenagers.
To us, adults, we know that RH is reproductive health.
Right.
To them, it has another meaning. RH to kids or adolescent or teenager is raging hormones. It was given to us. We cannot. We're not telling you not to do it. We're telling you to prevent getting pregnant and infection. That's it. What you do, as long as you don't kill yourself, you don't harm yourself, it's up to you.
Yeah,
Millennial
informed
kids today are
consent.
so empowered.
Yeah.
So that's where we're banking on. We're investing on this.
I hope the millennial parents can also be as empowered.
Most of the parents of the millennial kids are not millennial. They're what, baby boomer kids.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
So we're
The next
attacking
generation.
the next generation.
The millennial parents and their
Maybe
children.
us, we understand them. That's why
Yeah.
my kid, I have a 14-year-old kid. I voluntarily expose all my medical books to him.
Okay.
And I ask questions. I answer him frankly. I don't answer him, you came from my heart. That's anatomically wrong. If kids ask, Mommy, Daddy, where did I came from? Don't tell them you came from my heart.
So tell us about your experience talking as a parent to your child, frankly, honestly, and in a non-judgmental manner about sex. How has that been?
You'll be surprised, you know.
Okay.
It's my kid who's ashamed and cover his face.
Oh.
Moment I open a book, a textbook on something like, oh, gee, I don't like that. Someday you'll experience this. And I tell him, this is the beginning of things, how you were created. And then, well, maybe my kid knows more because I always talk to him about that. He'll be engrossed, oh, gee.
But I think the concern of a lot of parents is if you talk to their kids about sex, it's like encouraging them to have sex.
That's the wrong notion. That's the wrong notion. There's a saying, it's more dangerous to have little knowledge than complete knowledge. Because little knowledge is more dangerous. You know, kids, they try to experiment.
Right.
Okay, you try to experiment, but as long as you know the consequences and you know you're equipped with this tool of knowledge, what's the result?
Right.
I will prevent this. I can get this one. Right?
There's another trend though in teen pregnancy in the Philippines, which is our teen moms are in relationships with much older men.
That's right.
How do we address that? We have one of the lowest age of consent in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is this contributing to this problem of teen pregnancy, and how can we address it?
Well, married to an older man, when I say there's a joke, you both have a husband and a parent.
Maybe that's also what they're looking for, to fill that kind of emotional void. Is that something that you're seeing?
The family, the community cannot give. So it's a multi-agency effort. The
Really?
DSWD, the community, local government, and the DOH.
Yeah.
And mostly these kids who are married to older men are, abandoned kid, prodigal, single parent, coming from a broken family.
And I think the practice is to refer that to child protection of the
That's right.
social welfare department,
That's
right?
The DSWD, the Department of Social Welfare.
Right.
And I'm surprised how, well, sometimes out of, poverty, parents give consent.
Yeah. Which is another factor.
Another factor.
I think with the discussions that we've had here today, it's really very obvious that addressing teen pregnancy will have to go beyond sex education and access to contraception.
Yes, the DOH can only do this much. It has to be an effort starting from the family, the community, and the system, which is both local and national government, in order to address this. You'll be surprised. Teen pregnancy in the United States has gone down.
Yes, it has. Over a period when it was increasing.
And why? Because of the provision, they have the liberty, the freedom to choose their own.
To choose their own birth control
That's
methods.
right.
Okay.
That's right. They have the power to decide for themselves.
Right.
Which we miss here. Which we tend to look, you're still a kid.
Yeah.
You cannot decide. I will decide for you.
We also need to change our mindset as parents.
Change the mindset of parents, teachers, service providers,
Right.
doctors, nurses, midwives.
Thank you, Dr. Gfx. You really summarized a lot of what's going on, how we got here, but also some concrete interventions.
Oh, from
Yes.
what do you mean, the DOH
Yes,
part?
the DOH.
The only thing that we can do right now, if still they're young, is to comprehensive sexual education. It's against the law to provide family planning commodities if without the consent
if
of
they're
the families.
minors.
That's why we're focusing on the parents.
Yes.
Through educating the parents thing. So the reception is quite good, the welcome is quite good, and maybe by next year we will see more parents coming in and telling my kids is, and I forgot to tell you, communication between parents and kids should be, good, and Mom, I'm sleeping really well, something like that.
How do the parents know when these forums are going to happen, or these community halls? How will they know?
There's through the local government unit.
Okay.
Yes, and they go around. We have this, we call this, I forgot this, where they call out this community to the barangay leaders.
Yeah.
It's one thing, big thing, and they tell everything check up, and then they say, okay, family planning commodities.
Oh, okay.
We attack first the parents, and then we say, do you have any teenager kids? And they may happen. Don't blame them. Those again, they pass through this stage of called our age, and you pass through the stage, and you understand what they're going through.
Okay.
So you understand. It's things like that. We tell them that.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us today, Doc Jigs, to explain this to us. I think it's also like really cool for the DOH to go beyond health interventions and also engaging the parents. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us for another segment of this Teen Pregnancy Forum. We just had a chat with the Department of Health about the different interventions that the department is scaling up on to address teen pregnancy. As we had talked about in the earlier part, there's really much more to addressing teen pregnancy beyond health interventions and access to education. We really need a comprehensive approach that goes to supporting our teens with education and with guidance. Thank you again for joining us. This is Anna P. Santos, a reporter for News Deeply and Rappler.